Tataha, therefore, Vajadvam, engage in devotional service. Hridaye, within the core of the heart. Hrit Ishwaram, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul within the heart. हिंदी में पढ़ेंगे. The real problem of translation is given by Srila Prabhupada. The real problem of life is the repetition of birth and death, which is like a well rolling repeatedly up and down. This will, wherever completely stop when one is in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, by the transcendental bliss realized from constant engagement in devotional service, one is completely liberated from material existence. All learned men knows this. Therefore, my dear friends, O son of the Asuras, immediately begin meditating upon and worshipping the Supreme Soul within everyone's hearts. Generally, it is understood that by merging into the existence of Brahman, the impersonal feature of the absolute truth, one becomes completely happy. The word Brahma Nirbana, refer to connecting with the absolute truth, who is realizing in three features: Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Sabdyate. Because one feels Brahma Sukha, spiritual happiness, by merging into the impersonal Brahman. Because of the Brahma Jyoti is the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yasa Prabha, Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti. Yasa Prabha, the impersonal Brahman, consists of the rays of Krishna's transcendental body. Therefore, whatever transcendental bliss one feels from merging in Brahman is due to contact with Krishna. Contact with Krishna is perfect Brahma Sukha. When the mind is in touch with the impersonal Brahman, one becomes satisfied. But one must advance future to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one, remaining merged in Brahman effulgence is not always assured, as it is said, Aruiha Pruchena Param Padam Tataha Patatyandho Nadruta Yuksho the Agraha. One may merge in the Brahman feature of absolute truth, but there is a chance that one may fall because of not being acquainted with Adhokshaja or Vasudeva. Of course, such Brahma Sukha undoubtedly eliminate material happiness, but when one advances through impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead in relationship with him as a servant, friend, parent, or conjugal lover, one's happiness becomes all pervading. When one automatically feels transcendental bliss, just as one becomes happy seeing the shining of the moons. Moon acquire natural happiness upon seeing the moon, but when one can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's transcendental happiness increases hundred and thousand of times as soon as one is very intimately connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One really becomes free from all material contamination. Ya Nibrutis Tanu Bhrutam. This cessation of all material happiness is called Nibriti or Nirvana. Srila Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.138, Brahmananda bhavet eshah chet parardha gunakrutah naiti bhakti sukhambodhe paramanu tulamapi. If Brahmananda, the bliss of merging in the Brahman effulgence, were multiplied 100 trillion times, it would still not equal even unatomic fragment of the ocean of transcendental bliss felt in devotional service, felt in devotional services. Service. ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा ना सोचति ना कांक्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद भक्तिम लभते परम. One who transcendently situated at once realized the supreme Brahman and become fully joyful. He never laments or desire to have anything. He is equally disposed toward all living entities. In that stage, he attained pure devotional service unto the Lord. Bhagavad Gita 18.54 says, if one advance future from the Brahman Nirvana platform, one enter the stage of devotional service, Mad Bhaktim Lavate Param, the word Adoksho Jalambam refer to keeping the mind always engaged in the absolute truth, who is beyond the mind and material speculation. Sa vai manah Krishna padara bindah. This is the result of deity worship. By constantly engaging in the service of the Lord and thinking of lotus feet, one automatically freed from all material contamination. Thus, the word Brahma Nirvana Sukham indicates that when one is in touch with the absolute truth, material sense gratification is completely nullified. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाक्षय चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोविष्णुं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददान्ति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुणं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं त्वं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपाद सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखावितं च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिन्धु वहेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. मुखम करोति वाचालं लंघयते गिरिजत् कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनता परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य नमः. विष्णुपाद कृष्ण पृष्ठावतले श्रीमते जय पताका स्वामी नमः. आचार्य पादानिता गदाधर गौरभक्तदां. So first I would like to take your permission and blessing, Prabhu, and from all the Vaishnavas here. So please bless me so that I can speak this transcendental subject matter for my own purification. So यहाँ पे प्रहलाद महाराज is showing his merciful nature here and upon his friends. So to the sons of Asuras, his friends. So this is very natural, like natural quality of a pure devotee, that is his compassion for all the fallen souls, like fallen conditioned souls. Those are here. So he is always compassionate towards all the living entities. So this is the nature of a pure devotee. So today's verse primarily focus on understanding the real problem of life. So we have many problems in our life, so many problems of life, but there is a one real problem. What is that real problem? Like others are temporary. Whatever we have, like we may come across so many problems, and those problems persist for, like, let's suppose 1 minute, maybe 10 days, 15 days, 1 month, let's suppose 1 year, or this lifetime. But there is a one problem. So, what is that problem which is Prahlad Maharaj is talking about? Even after so many times, the problem will no longer exist, whichever we have now. But that problem is very we should focus on that problem. So we should go for the resolving the permanent problem. We have temporary problem. Today we have this problem. Maybe later it will not exist. And that problem Prahlad Maharaj is speaking is that. Let's read it again. What is that problem? So I would suggest if you can repeat again. Prahlad Maharaj is telling the real problem of life. Please repeat after me. The repetition of birth and death, which is like a wheel rolling repeatedly up and down. This wheel, however, completely stops when one is in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, by the transcendental bliss realized from constant engagement in devotional service, one is completely liberated from material existence. All learned men knows this. Therefore, O my dear friends, O son of the Asuras, immediately began meditating upon and worshipping the super soul within everyone's hearts. So we understood what is the main problem. So here it is telling. See, this knowledge is actually realized knowledge. Whatever Prahlad Maharaj is telling. See, sometimes we may have a reading so much, or we may have understand the subject matter, but uh, like clearly, but without example given, it may be not realized or not understandable. So Prahlad Maharaj, but here Prahlad Maharaj has given so many problems, like even in previous verses also he given many examples, like why we have to take take this process of bhakti so seriously, and by taking this process of bhakti seriously, we will become blissful, and not only that blissful, but also we will see all the other living entity as a friendly manner. Like we'll see that these are the Krishna's part and parcel, or they having relationship with, because we will connect everyone as a relationship with Krishna. So in this way we will become happy, or will become very peaceful. So here he is telling the real problem of life is repetition of birth and death. So example he is giving, like which is like well rolling repeatedly up and down. So if you we have noticed पता नहीं, like what is that, like एक झूला होता ना, like चक्कर काटते गोल, like झूला मेला में क्या बोलते हैं उसको, stand wheel. So they are like temporarily people will be very happy by sitting there and enjoying. So let's suppose if this problem will continuously go on and go on and go on, like it will never stop. So the person will become frustrated, and it will be it will be a very big problem or real problem for his. Similarly, here Prahlad Maharaj is telling, our this repetition of birth and death is constantly, it's a cycle. So it's like running up and down. Prahlad Maharaj is saying it is running up and down, and we will keep suffering if it doesn't stop. Prahlad Maharaj is telling, like old age, disease, and air progress will be always there. Like all the time, suffering will be there in this material world. So how can we stop? So that is also Prahlad Maharaj is given. Like Prahlad Maharaj is telling, the will, however, completely stops when one is touched with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, by the transcendental bliss realized from constant engagement in devotional service, one is completely liberated from material existence. And also Srila Prabhupada, if you can see, the Srila Prabhupada is telling in the purport, is telling generally it is understood that by merging into existence of Brahman, the impersonal feature of the absolute truth, one becomes completely happy. What is that absolute truth? like absolute truth to, like Prahlad Maharaj referring to whom? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, like Krishna. So he's referring to this. So then Srila Prabhupada says absolute truth like Brahma Nirvana can be realized in three features. So he's telling Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti, Sabdate. You can see that purport Prabhupada is given there. So little bit we can understand this. What is it? Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan. So Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So in short, we can understand why people talk about this Brahman. So first, let's understand that Brahman part. What is Brahman? See, I'm Brahman means people talk about. If you just remember, like sometime all of you know, like people talk about Brahma Jyoti. Sometimes they start like meditating on lights, or God is light. They say sometimes. So what is that light all about? like tube light, halogen light, something like this. No. So this light actually people talk about. Like similarly, God can be also uh, like this. What is that light? Here, Prabhupada is mentioned. That is the effulgence coming from Krishna or Bhagavan. So similarly, like God can be like perceived as a Brahman or impersonal light. People talk about that light is one of the feature of the Lord. Who is the Lord? Krishna. So Krishna having three feature. One is Brahma Jyoti, then Paramatma, then Bhagavan. So how Srila Prabhupada gives example of this Brahman. See, maybe sometime I'm just making the pronouns wrong. I'm not talking about Brahma or Brahmana. It is Brahma. So, mm, so Prabhupada gives the example of sun. Like let's suppose we are here sitting and we understood that we see this sun ray we are seeing. So we understood that there must be some source. That's where this light is coming from. And what is that source? Is sun. And if we'll go outside also, we'll see that sun having a disk. And then we understood from Bhagavad Gita chapters, it is said that sun is the Vivasvana, the sun god. Like we are getting this all the knowledge from him. It is said Vedic knowledge, and it was like transmitted through him, and he is the living entity also. It is said. So like there is also a contradiction. People scientists says, how can be there a living entity? Like if they are sending some space things what is that called? Uh, some satellite or something they're sending, na? So they're thinking if we'll go near sun, we will burn. How can it possible there can be a living entities? So we can understand in this way, like in water, you can see this. There is so many aquatics are there underwater. So their bodies designed in a such a way, like in a water element, they can be live there forever. But who knows? There must be some fiery element would be there. So there must be some sun planet is there. So sun must having some other like praja or something like this. So here it is said like sun is a deity. His name is Vivashwana. So it is said. So, even recently, scientists also observed that what is that? They said that they discovered that a frequency coming from sun is exactly matching like the sound of Om, which is Hindu, which is already mentioned in Hindu scripture. So it is they are selling. So like this we can understand. So Prabhupada, what he is trying to give this example. First we saw the sun ray, then the sun disk, then like sound deities. So the like more we will go deeper, then we'll understand the things like very deeper also. So let's understand what is the complete understanding, what is the incomplete understanding. So here there's a sloka coming from like Brahma Samhita. It is said like anda stara paramanu chayantarastam govindamadi purusam tamaham bhajami. Lord is there in each and every paramanu or atoms. So Brahma is telling this. And also in Bhagavad Gita is telling Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridayasu Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayam Sarva Bhutani Janta Rudhani Mayaya. Here it is said Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. Basically, Arjuna, please listen. Like, like, what is Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridayasu? Hridayasu means like in the heart. Hridayasu means in the heart. And as Ishvara, I am situated everyone heart. Technically, it means like Ishvara means controller. So first of all, we understood that he is also living in everyone hearts. So first we understood like the light, that effulgence part, Brahman part. Then he is telling like I am in everybody's hearts. So that is why Brahman, then Paramatma, who is sitting in everyone's hearts. So then last part is Bhagavan. So I'm just summarizing very little so that we can understand. So now if we go deeper, like we can understand, oh, there is a person. He is a person. He's not only like personally present in this spiritual world, like in the Vaikuntha or Golaka, Vrindavan, doing his pastime. Like now, this is higher understanding and complete understanding when we call as a Bhagavan. So Brahma says also like Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Nadi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Again, this is the translation. Like there are many personalities processing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme personality, supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person, and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the like primeval Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. So Brahma is saying this, Ishvara Parama Krishna. So who is that Parama Ishvara? That is Krishna. So clearly it is mentioned that it is Krishna, the supreme controller or his personal Krishna. So we understood like here, like we understood fasting is he is a person, and if he is person, then he is, we understood like Krishna is Sat, Chit and Ananda, Satchitananda. So Sat means eternal or truth, and Chit means full of knowledge, and one more is Ananda, always blissful. So here, if you can see, he having three feature, three quality. But in Paramatma and Paramatma and Brahman, so they don't have this quality. Like Paramatma, all pervading, is present in all the atoms. So in this way, we can say that is Sat and Chit, and Brahman is truth only. Prabhupada also said proper like somebody is quoting like Jagan Satya Jagan Mitha Brahma Satya Jagan Mitha. So Prabhupada said ki like Brahma Satya, that is truth, but Jagan Mithya, that is incorrect. It can be temporary, but it cannot be false. So here like when Krishna is telling in another sloka, like I forgot that one also. So we understood that like in Paramatma feature, he having two things. What is one is Sat and Chit, because he is truth also. He is sitting in everyone's heart. Sat and Chit, he like eternal, and but not Ananda, because Bhagavan has got a personality like likes and dislikes, and he is just Sachitananda. So Srila Prabhupada says in purport also here, the word Brahma, Nirvana, referring truth, who is realized in their three feature, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaneti, Brahma Sukha, spiritual happiness. Maybe it is. Spiritual happiness by merging into the impersonal Brahman is the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, whatever transcendental bliss one feel from merging with Krishna or contact with Krishna is perfect Brahma Sukha when then Brahman one becomes the person like personal Brahman one becomes satisfied. So Arjuna also had the same question to Krishna in while he was in battlefield, and he was asking the question, oh Madhusudan, I understood everything. Now I have one question. He's telling, Arjuna is telling 12.1, he's telling कि एव सतत जुक्त्याये भक्त्याय पर्युपासते ए चाप्यक्षर मक्त्यबम ए क्षा के जोगवीतमः. So here if you can just go to the translation. So 12.1 you all can read, or probably if you can just show this here, it is on, or otherwise it is okay. So it is like Arjuna is asking, "Oh Lord, please tell me that whom do we consider to be the best?" He's giving two options. The first option is telling like Brahman or Bhagavan. We should worship Brahman or Bhagavan. So to whom you prefer to be the best for worshipping? So then next sloka, Krishna is answering this. He's telling, Maya Vaishya Mano Ye Mam Nitya Jukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayo Peta Te Me Juktam Matmaha. So Krishna is telling, there are those are worshipping my personal form, they are the best. एकदम एक ही लाइन में बोल दिया कृष्णा. Those are worshipping my personal form, they are the best. And Srila Prabhupada also says in this purport, for once remaining merged in the Brahman effulgence, it is not always assured. Any time it can be fall down, or maybe I'll just go little deep on this. And then what is the problem with merging in Brahman? So we can understand. Here Srila Prabhupada is telling, one may merge in the Brahman feature of the absolute truth, but there is a chance that one may fall because of not being acquainted with Adhokshaja or Vasudeva. अगर भगवान के साथ कोई संपर्क नहीं रखेंगे वासुदेव के साथ, so because there will be no bliss, as we discussed. If there is a person, we can reciprocate. So Krishna also says in 12.5, क्लेशो धिक्ता रस्ते ख्याम अव्यक्ता सक्त चेतसाम अव्यक्ता ही गतिर दुखम. So in translation is telling, for those whose mind are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the supreme advance is very troublesome. He's telling his advance is very troublesome. To make progress in the discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Now Krishna is saying that worshipping the impersonal form is very, very difficult, very, very troublesome. He's telling two words, very, very difficult or very, very troublesome. So why it is difficult to worship Brahman or Brahma Jyoti, what people talk about, like Prabhupada also in the fast purport is telling, people talks about. So one thing is that we have to understand is we are always a person in past life also. Like from time immemorial, we used to become a person. We have 84 lakhs of pieces. So in all the forms we used to be a person. Now all of a sudden, if we have asked, because we are also person, and all of a sudden we are asking, you should develop relationship with the impersonal form of the Lord or that feature. that is called jo Brahman. So here, it is said, it is very 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 difficult for us. And also the second aspect, you can say aspect of aspect is like service, because we all in an all previous life or this life jiva, we have a like aspect that we always do service, like service part, like we are always been a servant. Like how, like sometimes we are serving our mind, sometimes serving our mm, mm, in office doing some work, and sometimes we are like some people also having dogs, and they are also serving their dog whenever they'll go, and they, like this is happening. So even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jivara Swarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna Dasa. So okay, now uh, I was hearing lecture from Karthik Prabhu was telling one very good example he was giving. Like if one hyperactive child is always been a hyperactive, always ही जब भी देखते हैं ना, कभी कभी एक हाइपर एक्टिव किड्स होता है, कभी भी जाते हैं कुछ भी ऐसे ऊपर जाते हैं, ऐसे आपका ऐसे बाल को ऐसे निकाल के भाग जाते हैं, नहीं तो ऐसे पकड़ के ऐसे ऐसे कुछ ना कुछ तो करते रहते हैं, दौड़ते हैं, जाते हैं, घूमते हैं, तो कुछ झिक झुक करते हैं. तो अगर वी आर ऑलवेज लाइक दिस, बिकॉज वी आर ऑलवेज बीन ए पर्सन, वी आर नॉट इम्पर्सनल. सो लाइक से वन हाइपर एक्टिव किड्स, अगर हम चारों तरफ वाइट पेंटेड वॉल रखेंगे एंड ऊपर और नीचे वाइट पेंटेड वॉल वहाँ पे रख देंगे, छोड़ देंगे, कुछ नहीं है, ही विल नॉट एबल टू सस्टेन. So he'll not get any releasement also, because that is what Krishna is telling here. So and another part is like I just said like servant. See, everyone in this world also hankering for service. Everyone has some urge. Like when we have some urge to thirst, like what can be satisfied that thirst, like water. So we should go to water. If we'll drink something, like we'll go and drink something, let's suppose कभी कभी हम जाते हैं, कभी कोई दे दिया मतलब क्या बोलते, कोका, थम्स अप, 7 अप, कुछ तो है, वो दे दिए, उसको पीने के बाद, सो इट इज़ नॉट परमानेंट सोल्यूशन फॉर अस कि हम लोग की दोबारा प्यास लगता है, कुछ देर के बाद दोबारा लगता है. सो दैट इज वाई हियर we have to find it out the permanent solution. So so Srila Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj is telling in this sloka, transcendental bliss realize from constant engagement in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The real problem will completely stop. अगर हम correct source को जाए, if we have some like urge or the attitude of service, we should serve a right person. That is Prahlad Maharaj telling, we should serve Krishna. And then Srila Rupa Goswami also says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Prabhupada gives in purport, if Brahmananda, the bliss of merging in the Brahman effulgence, were multiplied 100 trillion times, it would still not equal even an atomic fragment of the ocean of transcendental bliss felt in the devotional service. भक्ति में इतना मतलब आनंद है, इवन वो बोल रहे कि अगर इतना गुण हम मल्टीपल करेंगे, क्या है कि वी आर मल्टीप्लाइड 100 ट्रिलियन टाइम्स, इट वुड स्टिल वी आर नॉट इक्वल टू ए वन लाइक क्या बोलते हैं एटॉमिक फ्रैगमेंट ऑफ bliss which is we'll have by doing devotional service. Like then ऐसे बताते हैं कि ब्रह्म भूत प्रसन्नात्मा ना सोचती ना कांक्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद भक्ति लभते पर. ये बताते हैं कि हम ये देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे हम पढ़ सकते हैं, one who is transcendentally situated at once realize the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments for desire to have anything. He never desire anything else. And he is equally disposed towards all living entities. सारे लिविंग एंटिटीज को, जैसे मैं पहले बताया था कि वो क्या देखते हैं कि अपने कृष्ण के साथ जोड़ के देखते हैं एंड फ्रेंडशिप रिलेशनशिप बना के रखते हैं. एंड देन ही नेवर लैमेंट्स, ओके, he attained pure devotional service unto the Lord. Bhagavad Gita 18.54 में दिए हैं. If one advance future from the Brahma Nirvana platform, one enters the stage of devotional service. Mad bhaktim lavate param. The word adak sholamba refers to keeping the mind always engaged in absolute truth. What is that absolute truth we are discussing? That absolute truth is Supreme Personality of Godhead and Krishna, गिरिधारी. So then Prabhupada इसमें बताते हैं, who is beyond the mind and material speculation, saw by manah Krishna padara binda. This is the result of deity worship. Like we will just form in worship the Lord in a deity form, in a Bhagavan form, not in a like Brahma Jyoti form, which is like people talk about, like focusing on light, focusing on like something, some tube light, something like this. So here it is said like that is true, but that is one feature of the Lord. But Krishna also given what is the best. He's telling you worship my personal form. And then वहाँ पे लास्ट में बोलते one is automatically freed if he is doing this process. One is automatically freed from all material contamination. Thus, the word Brahma Nirvana Sukham indicates that when one is in touch with the absolute truth, material sense gratification is completely nullified. It will be completely nullified. And Srila Prahlad, not Prabhu, Prahlad Maharaj also is telling to his Asura friend in translation, you can see, my dear friend, immediately began meditating upon and worship the supreme soul within everyone's hearts, and do constant engagement in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The real problem of life will completely stop. So we understood that real problem of life is like Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, that cycle of birth and death. It will stop. So we have to focus on this, and the solution we understood from Prahlad Maharaj is that is only the solution is devotional service to the Lord, and service like bhakti having, now we have talked about bhakti having three elements. One is service, one is served, and is servitor, who is serving, and Bhagavan, and the process we are doing, the service, and we are. So bhakti, this belongs to three elements. If you are doing this, then the real problem will be stopped. Like the cycle of this chakra will stop, because we are coming on in contact, touch with Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is what Prabhupada was mentioning in this, and Prahlad Maharaj also mentioning, and this is what they are in the purport. So, any correction, Prabhuji? Any question you can just ask. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय.